Good afternoon. I'm Robert Cooper, Artistic Director for the Orpheus Choir of Toronto, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our virtual Sidgwick Scholars Salon. Needless to say, these are extraordinary times, and today we are jumping for the first time into the brave new world of digital performance. As you'll see this afternoon, we are observing government and public health mandated protocols to ensure the safety of everyone involved in bringing you this performance. Our hosts, our singers, our accompanists, our technicians will be masked, and in fact, our singers will be doubly masked, and everybody physically distanced at all times. The effect will be very different from our pre-pandemic performances, but I encourage you to think of this as a snapshot in time. The wonderful talent of our singers and the heart and passion fueling their performances remains unchanged and will shine through regardless. The Sidgwick Scholars Salon is our annual event to raise funds to support these superb emerging artists and their participation, their leadership, and performance with Orpheus. Already, many of you have generously answered our call, and as we begin today's salon, we have received by mail $5,100, so that's a great start. Thank you all so very, very much. To those of you watching who have not yet had an opportunity to support these fine young singers, please go to orpheuschoirtoronto.com, click on the Salon page, and you'll be right there and be able to support. And to spur you on, our gracious hosts for this afternoon's live stream salon, Vern and Elfrieda Heinrichs, have so generously offered $5,000 as a matching support. So there's our challenge to you. Go to orpheuschoirtoronto.com, click on the Sidgwick Scholar picture, and help us meet our goal. And to help me today in meeting our goal, it's a great pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman who I've known for several years, and the wonderfully incomparable Canadian operatic tenor, Richard Margison. Richard, thanks so much for being here, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Robert. It's great to be here and great to be able to help out in these times, any time for that matter, when it comes to helping these young artists and ensuring a future for the art form.
I know you're very involved with young artists these days, working at the University de Montreal, along with the Highlands Opera Studio, right?
Yeah, Highlands Opera Studio. We're just had our 14th season, which was all virtual. We had 17 young professional singers that we mentored online 6 days a week, and also 3 collaborative pianists, apprentices that we worked with, and they had coachings and sessions with coaches and managers, teachers all over the world.
That's
We
remarkable.
brought them all together via the virtual medium. Sadly, no public performances, but that too will come back for sure, and it's going to come back bigger and better than ever, I hope.
Well, you and Valerie are really be commended for being so resourceful to find different ways to connect with everybody.
Valerie put together a phenomenal program this summer. We're co-artistic directors, and she's the general manager of Highlands Opera Studio, and it was just remarkable to see what she was able to bring together and to provide for these young people in a time when it's really kind of a dark hole and many people's careers have stopped. What do we do? And we have to continue. We have to keep looking after everybody. And so I take my hat off to my wife, Valerie, for that.
And that's what we want to do this afternoon. We're not going to give in to COVID. We're not going to be shuttered by COVID.
Nope.
And that's why we're here this afternoon for our Sidgwick Scholars Salon. And I'm going to pass the proceedings over to you, Richard, and you can introduce our first scholar for this afternoon.
Yes, our first singer this afternoon is Danley Ray Asabuke. So I'm going to ask Danley, I'm going to ask you a question or two, and I understand that you've just become a Canadian citizen.
Yes, I did. Just last Monday, actually.
How extraordinary is that? I mean, it must be a great thrill to get that finalized.
Oh yeah, it's like a gift that was given to us for me and my family for the sacrifice that my mom did for working abroad for more than 20 years and to finally become a citizen, it's a gift that I could give to her just to at least help her in some ways and to bring pride to my family.
Well, that's wonderful, and I'm sure that that alone inspires you to sing higher and louder than ever.
Trying my best for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You also have an important family occasion, I believe, that just happened. What would that be?
Important family occasion. I can't remember. There's so many things that happen, and I can't even count all of them. Actually.
Well, not to worry. We'll continue on from there. You are going to sing, I believe, a piece by William Bolcom. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes. So this piece, it's a cabaret piece that I performed so many times way back in my undergrad years. And I really, really love this piece because it speaks of a story of the person named George,
right,
who is, in this piece, is a transgender person. And the reason that I decided to do this piece is not only because it's a very beautiful cabaret piece, but it's also a movement piece that I think is relevant to what the LGBTQ community is experiencing today from the past and probably in the future if there's no change happening at all.
Wonderful. Well, take it away. We look forward to hearing it.
Thank you. My friend George used to say, "Oh, call me George, hun. Get yourself a drink," and sang the best soprano in our part of town. In bead, brocade, and pins, he sang if you happened in through the door he never locked, and said, "Get yourself a drink," and sang out loud till tears fell in the cognac and the chocolate milk and gin, and on the beads, brocade, and pins. When strangers happened through his open door, George said, "Stay, but you gotta keep quiet while I sing, and then a minute after, and call me Georgia." One fine day, a stranger in a suit of navy blue took George's life with a knife. George placed beside an apple pie he'd baked, and stabbed him in the middle of Un bel di vedremo, as he sang for this particular stranger who was in the United States Navy. The funeral was at the cocktail hour. We knew George would like it like that. Tears fell on the beads, brocade, and pins. In the coffin, which was white, because George was a virgin. Oh, call him George,
get yourself a drink. John, get yourself a drink.
Dan Lee, thank you so very much. And before we go any further, I just want to make sure you are all introduced to our wonderful accompanist this afternoon, Christopher Dawes. So welcome back, Chris, after many months of us being separated. And it's my great pleasure now to introduce to you our mezzo-soprano Sidgwick Scholar this year, and that's Annika Franz Forget. Welcome, Annika Franz.
Hi.
So I know you as a very vivacious vocalist, but I know you're also an accomplished composer from our experience working together on raising her voice. So how do you think these two talents complement each other?
Well, I really started composing when I was 11. I wrote my first piece titled Le Grand Voyage for my grandmother, who had passed then, with the help of my mom. And, you know, having that knowledge of composition and singing just brings so much more, in my opinion, more musicality through your work and through your art. I think that it's important for everyone to compose once in a while because it's so special and it's another way of expressing yourself.
Well, it was very clear from the work that we did by you that there was a real sense of lyricism and you understood the voice, which is so important that composers know how to work with the voice. Yeah. So speaking of voices, we want to hear you now. So tell us what you're going to perform.
I will be singing J'ai deux amants from André Messager's L'amour masqué. And Elle, who is the soprano, is infatuated with her two lovers and with the generosity that they're giving her, and she's just singing her way through it.
Let's enjoy Monsieur Massager.
Mon Dieu,
Thank you very much, Annika Franz, for that wonderful, wonderful performance. Now it's a great joy to have a little taste of that very rare creature, the operatic tenor. And I can say that because I'm in that rare creature form. So anyway, it's a great joy to introduce to you Stefan Vitovich. Stefan, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. I think it's interesting, looking over your bio, I saw that you were supposed to be making your operatic debut with Opera Nova, but like so many others during this pandemic that we're going through, everything has been put on hold and pushed into the future. What are the plans for that now?
Yeah, it was supposed to be the first operatic role that I was ever going to sing. I had done all my diction work and my research, and then obviously with the pandemic that couldn't work out, but it's been moved to next year, so we're hoping if things settle down that I'll be able to go to Edmonton and sing in the Crucible. It's a really amazing opera. If anyone doesn't know about it, I definitely suggest checking it out.
Wonderful, and that is in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
Terrific. Well, that's great. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I know so many are hoping that they'll be back to work soon. It's very, very unusual circumstances we're going through. I'm also interested in the fact that you're Serbo-Croatian Canadian. Does that influence what you do in your singing at all? What is that influence when you sing or study or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it made a huge difference to me when I came to the Glenn Gould School, because I realized I had grown up hearing Serbian, French, and English in my home. And so that covered a lot of bases diction-wise and in terms of languages, and it was definitely a very useful skill.
Well, that's great. I mean, obviously it helps make sure that you've got a keen ear when it comes to languages and pronunciation, whatever else that we all have to work so hard at in the singing industry. I'll let you introduce what you're going to sing. It's one of my favorite pieces I did a million years ago. It's a piece by Mozart, and I'll let you take that away.
Yeah, so I'm singing Dalla sua pace, which is from Mozart's Don Giovanni. In this aria, Don Ottavio is really just coming to terms with how much Donna Anna means to him. And he says, you know, on her peace, mine depends. And he really realizes just how much this woman means to him.
Great.
Piace grande, quel che l'ingresce, morte mi dà.
Fantastic. Okay. Robert, I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about the Sidgwick program.
Well, I was the very fortunate recipient of this wonderful program when I joined the Orpheus Choir 16 years ago. And I saw in it a wonderful opportunity. They really weren't using it to the full capacity, I felt. And since then, we've had over 100 singers who have worked with the Orpheus Choir as being Sidgwick Scholars since we started.
Amazing.
It's a remarkable program, and it was created in honor of the founding conductor and his wife, John and Mary Sidgwick. So we're very fortunate that they had the foresight back in those days to create this wonderful program and have all these wonderful singers. And I bet, Richard, if I throw some names out at you,
Sure.
You'll recognize some of these people. Leslie Ann Bradley,
Yes.
Patricia O'Callahan,
Yes.
Karen Wiertzber, Wallace Junta, Martha
Right.
Herman, Michael Colvin, Victor McAuliffe, James Westman, Vartan Gabrielian, now at the COC, Philip Kalmanovich. The list is very long.
Wow.
Of wonderful singers that we feel very proud that we have a little part to play in the growth in their musicianship and making big successful careers for themselves.
Well, without those steps, you know, it's impossible for us to achieve our dreams, and it's through support like that and support through organizations like yours that, you know, we actually find a place on the world stage eventually and become such wonderful ambassadors for Canada.
They leave Orpheus and go to Highlands Opera Studio.
Right, right, exactly, exactly.
Now, I'm going to let you tell our audience, we've now just checked our budget again, and we find that those who were able to donate to us on Canada Helps have
Right.
also been very generous.
Yes.
Why don't you tell them what we've been receiving on Canada Helps?
Canada Helps, we now have $4,900 from in the Canada Helps account, and I urge everybody to really support these young people, support the ongoing work that's being done, and you know, especially during this time, we need a break from what we listen to on the news, and without music, there's not much left to soothe the savage beast. So with what we're listening to today and with the ongoing Sidgwick Scholar Program, I think, you know, dig deep into your pockets and go to the OrpheusChoirToronto.com, click on Sidgwick Salon picture. The rest is there in front of you. It will explain how you can help out. Your help is so greatly appreciated. Whatever you can do, it all makes such a remarkable difference for these young people.
And we're going to hear actually from one of our past Sidgwick Scholars now. In 2014-2015, we had a wonderful young soprano named Elizabeth Hetherington. And I got in touch with Elizabeth, and she's over in Amsterdam.
Wow.
And she has very generously sent us a little video saying a few words about encouragement about the program, as well as you're going to hear her wonderful singing. So here's Elizabeth Hetherington.
Hello Orpheans, hello Sidgwick Scholars, hello Bob and the amazing team. Welcome to Kasteel Heeswijk. This is a castle outside of Den Bosch in the Netherlands, and this is the amazing place that I get to do a concert tonight. My name is Elizabeth Hetherington, and I was myself a Sidgwick Scholar in the 2014-2015 season, and I was so honored and humbled to have been asked by Bob to be the special guest of this evening. And despite it being a very odd time where so much is online, I'm really happy to be able to be a part of this because of it being online. So as I said, I was a Sidgwick Scholar in the 2014-2015 season, and this was a pretty intense time of my life. This was when I was doing my master's auditions and deciding, what I wanted to do with my life, where I wanted to go, what made me happy. And I owe Bob and the amazing team there a huge debt of gratitude, because they are what helped me decide where to go and what to do. In that time, as I was doing my master's auditions, it was pretty important for me to have guidance. And in the end, I went to Amsterdam, to the Conservatory of Amsterdam, and I did a master's degree in historical performance with a minor in contemporary music and multidisciplinary performance. And I am so happy I did. One of the biggest reasons why I decided to do this is because I fell in love with contemporary music with Bob Cooper. He taught me how to learn it, how to appreciate it, and how to make difficult music something that is not immediately aesthetically pleasing, accessible, palatable, passionate, and ultimately touching. So I've been thinking long and hard about what I wanted to say as a Sidgwick guest, and what I would have wanted to hear when I was in this transition time of my life, when I was a Sidgwick Scholar. And what it comes down to is find your passion. Find what makes you special, find what makes you unique, but find what makes you tick. Your passion is something that will fire you up, make you and every part of your body excited. Something that you want to make your own. Find that, run with it, and have fun. In this time as a young singer, you're going to be told how to make music, how to sing, and that's really important as a young musician. You need to take the expertise that you're given, soak it up like a sponge, but never forget how you want to make music and what you as an individual have to say with that music. I'm so lucky that I moved to a place where my aesthetic, my musical aesthetic, happened to fit in with the aesthetic of the country. And I'm so lucky to be able to be working as a full-time singer, doing amazing projects in areas that I love, that I'm passionate about. And I really owe this to a couple of email interchanges that I had with Bob, where I said, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. And Bob said, you are already a high-quality musician. Go where you can make your music. And that's what I did. And that's the advice that I have for you. So, to wrap up, thank you again so much for having me. Virtually, of course. The performance that I am sending is not live, unfortunately. I haven't really had a day off to dedicate to filming something. However, it is a recording that I made around 3 or 4 weeks ago, around a month ago, outside of Utrecht, which is also in the Netherlands. And it is a performance that I was asked to do by the Utrecht Festival Oude Muziek, the Utrecht Early Music Festival. It's one of the biggest early music festivals in the world, and they, because of Corona, had to make some serious cuts, some serious decisions about their festival. Luckily, they asked me and my ensemble to be one of the featured artists. So this video that I'm sending is part of a sneak peek as to our live stream and subsequent concerts that we ended up doing with this festival. It's Italian music from the 17th century, one of my specializations. And we show in this program 17th century composers, but really, really badass ladies. It's a program that is dedicated to two nuns who were writing music in the mid-17th century, and their stories and their amazing lives and the incredible music that these singers, these composers spun out. So once again, thank you so much for giving me this honor of being able to share my music with the Orpheus Choir, being able to be a part of this really special event. So Sidgwick Scholars, you guys are amazing. You wouldn't be there if you weren't. Have fun, enjoy, find your passion, and be yourselves. Bye.
Elizabeth Hetherington, one of our very fine Sidgwick Scholars. And Lizzie, thank you so very much for your very warm and generous remarks. Obviously, Toronto's loss is Amsterdam's gain, and we wish you all the best and continued great success. And I want to remind you all, now that you're watching our Sidgwick Scholars Salon this afternoon, that you too can support us if you are able. Just go to the Orpheus Choir of Toronto.com, click on the Sidgwick Salon picture, and you'll find you're just a few clicks away from Canada Helps. And thank you all so very much for your very valued support. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you a new Sidgwick Scholar to the Orpheus Choir this year, and it's the baritone Dante Mullin-Santoni. Good afternoon, Dante.
Good afternoon.
I'm so happy you're here. It's nice to meet you. We've actually met for the first time because of COVID. We could actually never see each other face to face. So when I've looked at your bio, I noticed some very interesting things. I want to ask you about one of them. And you say that your background includes theater, jazz, blues, country, and art music. So how do you find this very diverse interest you have, and how does it influence your singing?
I find that diverse interests are instrumental to my artistry, and it informs me in so many ways. And another thing that it offers me is a relationship with music that allows me to unwind, that is free of any career aspirations, and more importantly, free of career pressures. Of which there are many in our business, you're right. Let's hear about what you're going to sing for us this afternoon. Right. Notte, a Respighi setting of an Anna Negri poem. It's a sort of contemplation of the beauty of darkness, and all the while attributing the terrifying fear that it evokes at the same time. Good. Let's hear Respighi.
Profuma di
Thanks so very much, Dante. It's such a pleasure to hear you live as opposed to an online audition. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our Sidgwick Scholar soprano for this year, Gabrielle Turjong. Welcome, Gabrielle.
Thank you.
So I noticed from your bio that you have quite a diverse repertoire, from early Handel to actually you enjoy premiering new music. So what's your preference, do you think?
Well, it's really such a difficult choice for me, but I would have to say that during my studies as a young singer, I tend to focus more towards the early side and also in the classical genre, because it's just so healthy for young singers to sing, and technically and also musically it informs the performance of new music, I find.
And obviously Mozart fits in there somewhere as well. And
Absolutely.
You're going to sing some Mozart for us now. So
Yes.
what have you chosen?
So I've chosen to sing today Batti Batti o bel mazzetto from Don Giovanni by Mozart. And this aria is sung by Zelina, who is a peasant girl who has become the object of interest of Don Giovanni, despite being engaged to Mazzetto. So prior to this aria, the very famous duet La ci darem la mano has just occurred. She has kind of been flirting with Don Giovanni. Mazzetto is furious, and in response she says, "Beat me, do whatever you want, I'll just wait here." She's kind of playing into his ego, flirting with him, trying to make amends for what she's done.
Let's hear Mozart.
Oh,
Well, we're back again, folks. Thank you so much, Gabrielle Turjong, for that wonderful rendition of Bati Bati. Robert, I was wondering if you can let us know, is the legacy of the Sidgwick Foundation, or is that an ongoing?
It's alive and well. You
Yeah.
know, we are so fortunate to have the son of John and Mary Sidgwick, Mr. Peter Sidgwick, who's been supporting this since I first arrived 16 years ago, and he's been a great, great friend to the Orpheus Choir and to the Sidgwick Scholar Program, and believes in it, and he's never missed a Sidgwick Scholars Salon.
Oh, wow.
But today, you know, we're limited to our numbers
Right.
of only 10 people, so unfortunately Peter can't be part of the 10, but we do want Peter to know how much we appreciate and value his ongoing support. And Richard's going to tell us about our next Sidgwick Scholar.
Right. I think he's here. You left your bicycle outside, though, right?
I left it outside just for
Good. We don't want bicycles in here. And you're an avid cyclist, eh?
Yeah, no, I am. Actually, just the other day, I was very fortunate to be able to participate with mask on, of course, in a ride for Black Lives Matter. It was a fun little thing they did and got together a bunch of cyclists, and we just all rode around Toronto just to spread the word and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
so that
wonderful.
was great. It was really great to get to do that the other day. Yeah,
Awesome.
It was wonderful.
Awesome. And you're a big fan of Mozart, I understand.
Yes, no, I love singing Mozart. Mozart and me have been good friends for a while, and I assume we'll continue being good friends. I
Awesome.
Hope. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have a particular role you enjoy the most?
Well, one that I think, one that I love so much that is done both by tenor or a mezzo-soprano, that I worked with a little bit with Wallace Junta one time, and she told me, who was a Sidgwick scholar once, right? And she told me that actually this role would be good for me, and it's the role of Idamante
Right, of course, in Idomeneo, yeah.
Yeah, no, so I've sung a few arias from there. I love that opera so much. It's one of his first, I think, and it's the recitativo accompagnato is just glorious. But yeah,
wonderful.
Cool. I love Mozart.
Well, let us know what you're going to sing today. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I won't be singing Mozart today, but I will be singing some Donizetti. Quanto è bella is the aria I'll be singing, and it's the first aria sung in this opera, L'Elisir d'Amore, and it kind of sets up the entire opera with Nemorino, who is the character I will be portraying, and he's singing about this love he has for Adina, the other character in the opera, and how he just, can't really get her to love him because their lives just don't meld so well together. But yeah, I hope I portray that well.
Okay.
This is David Walsh.
non son capace son capace, lieve affetto inspirar.
Thank you so much, tenor David Walsh. That was terrific. I love that opera too. You get to drink lots of elixir.
The tagline for the Orpheus Choir is "Expect something different." I think it's very appropriate for this afternoon, don't you?
Absolutely, 100%.
With all the vagaries of the internet. But one thing that's been consistently beautiful about this afternoon is in this magnificent home, thanks to the generosity of Vernon Elfrida Heinrich. So, Vernon Elfrida, thank you for this, taking over your beautiful home for 2 days with all our equipment so we could bring to our Orpheus fans these wonderful young singers. So thank you for all the support you give to choral music and to the Orpheus Choir. Bravo, bravo. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. It means so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now come to the very end of our salon, and for those of you who've been to our live salons, you know we like to do a little bit of a drum roll finale. So I'm going to ask Mr. Dawes, our wonderful accompanist, if he'll give us the drum roll. And I've told Richard what the secret number is, and he's going to let you know, thanks to your kindness and generosity, just where we are now at the end of our bit belated salon this afternoon. So, Chris.
We are at a wonderful $23,000.
Wonderful.
So thank you, everybody, and those who haven't quite made it to the website yet, thank you for doing it in advance.
And what is that website?
That website is
OrpheusChoirToronto.com.
And open up Sidgwick Scholar photo, and you will find all you need to help us keep going.
Richard, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's been a great pleasure to share this experience with you. And you've been great at rolling with all the punches this afternoon, so thank you.
Great to be here and to help out in any way.
And all the best with Highlands Opera Studio and your students in Montreal.
Thank you so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and I'm going to let you know you can see this and hear this all again. If you want to, just log on to orpheuschoir.com and you can get our YouTube link for another performance of this, and it won't be more than about 55, 56 minutes. So please do take it in, tell your friends, let them know about it, and we hope you will continue to enjoy this, as well as the other live stream events we have planned coming up while we live in these COVID-shuttered days. Thanks to all our patrons, thanks to our donors, thanks to the Heinrichs, all our recording engineers, our wonderful Sidgwick Scholars, and to our wonderful accompanist, Christopher Dawes. And this is the Orpheus Choir Salon 2020 signing off. Have a wonderful day.